There is a secret that Fortnite has been hiding from us for 7 years. And there's also a secret that allows you to win every single game. But you have to promise me you won't abuse this trick. I'll tell you that later. Because first, in Wailing Woods there was a hidden room. Looking inside of it, there were only 2 things in this room. A mirror and a teddy bear? We have no idea why Fortnite added this to the game. But in Chapter 1 Season 8, Fortnite added the jungle biome. This was awesome, but had another disturbing secret. In Sunny Steps, there was a hidden location with lots of tribal tents and stuff. But sadly, there was also a llama that had been killed and put on the fire. This is such a dark secret. Okay, but this next one's not so dark. Many players know about the really good blue chests that have a rare chance of spawning, but did you know that there was an even better one before these came to the game? In Chapter 1, Fortnite added a location called the Block. This location had a unique feature where every week a random Fortnite creative map would be selected to put on the Fortnite island, and some players used this to sneak in overpowered chests. These chests guaranteed you a golden weapon and very good loot. But that's only a few of the many secrets in this video.
Did you know that Take the L, Laugh It Up, and a bunch of emotes were secretly banned from Fortnite? One day they secretly added a setting that allowed you to turn these emotes off, and they didn't even tell anyone. But this next secret is kinda sus, because Fortnite secretly changed the doghouse sleigh emote. This emote has your character like straddling the doghouse, but someone out there somehow figured out that if you put on a skin with a skirt, they change the way that they sit. Okay, but who figured this out? After years of being worked on, Fortnite finally released their first person mode, Ballistics. But after only 2 weeks of being out, they already had removed it. I mean, you could still play the ranked version, but some players say it's too sweaty. But Fortnite removed a feature that was important to many players, and this actually had to do with a collaboration. Star Wars has been in the game for a long time, but in Chapter 3, Fortnite released the Darth Vader skin, and with his emote specifically for his skin, you could hear the Darth Vader breathing sound effect. But 2.5 years later, when they added a new Darth Vader skin, players expected to hear the breathing again when using the emotes, but it doesn't happen. It's only for the original Darth Vader skin. The Take a Seat emote had a huge change as well though. For the male skins, they put their foot on their knee, but for the female skin, she crosses her legs. This one just makes sense, I guess. But unlike the next one on this list, because in Chapter 3, Fortnite added the Klombo. He gave you some good loot, he walked around the island, but after a few months of him being in the game, he was randomly removed. And Fortnite never told us why, until 3 years later when Fortnite added him back to LEGO. I mean, I'm glad we have him back a little bit, but why can't we just have him in Battle Royale? Fortnite made some huge changes to Battle Passes. They changed the prices from 950 V-Bucks to 1000 V-Bucks, but they also changed the way that Battle Passes function. For a few years, we have had Battle Stars. These would collect in your pass over time as you leveled up, and you can unlock your Battle Pass one by one. But in Chapter 6, Fortnite removed this, and now they just unlock over time automatically. But a fan favorite Fortnite emote was removed for good. Fortnite has gotten into a lot of trouble with copyright over the years. The original default audio was actually removed because it sounded too similar to something else. And then later that chapter, they brought out the tidy emote. But after some drama with its original creators, Fortnite decided they wouldn't bring this back. And to this day, it hasn't returned. But something else that hasn't returned is LTMs, also known as limited time modes. These were added in Chapter 1 to keep the game fresh. It would be a fun game modes like Floor is Lava, Snipers Only, Solid Gold. But at some point in early Chapter 2, Fortnite decided they would stop bringing these back. I think Fortnite would be much better if they just added some of these fun game modes back. But something that scared a bunch of players was when the giant turtle was randomly removed one update. Players were running around the island like, where is he? Where is he? But it turned out he wasn't removed, but instead he was moved to a new location. Like and subscribe to keep Timmy the Turtle in the game. In 2023, we saw a glimpse of Fortnite OG, the original version, not the new one, but the version that was only out for a month long. Fortnite secretly had removed the iconic loading screen though. They ended up replacing it with a very clever version where we get to see the other side of the classic wall. We even see Jones peeking around the corner. But in actual old Fortnite, there was this huge footprint on the ground. Players always wondered where it came from. Some thought maybe it was a dinosaur, others said maybe the monster from season 9. But 6 years after it was removed from the game, by the time that it was added back in OG, we have a Godzilla collaboration. Maybe that is what made this footprint after all. Okay, but in 2024's Winterfest, there was a huge theme. This was the hidden gingerbread men all around the island. They would do everything, from enjoying some bird food to burying a robot. These guys were out of control, but these sadly would be removed after the Winterfest ended. In day 1 of OG Fortnite, the slurp juices would heal 25 shield and 25 health. That was what it was like in the original season 1, but because Fortnite thought this wasn't good enough today, they changed it back to 75 HP, secretly removing the OG slurp juice and replacing it with the new one. But that isn't the only slurp juice that was removed, because in chapter 4 we had a very overpowered slurp juice that was the legendary slurp. This slurp healed 200 HP over time, and after Fortnite chapter 4, luckily we haven't seen this since. Okay, but in chapter 6, Fortnite added some crazy movement, with the ability to jump extra far on ledges and even bounce off walls. But when Fortnite OG came around, players were wondering if they'd keep this in the game, but instead Fortnite removed this and kept it OG. Well, kind of. They kept the sprinting and mantling, but honestly it's better that way. But another movement item was secretly removed in chapter 4. Many players didn't know this even existed because of how long it was removed. Hurdling was added for only a few weeks in chapter 4, and it was so buggy that it was removed and wasn't added fully back until chapter 5. One of the greatest vehicles in Fortnite was the tank. This vehicle was sadly removed after a few seasons, but before it was removed, if you went into replay mode and looked at your character inside the tank, it revealed that your character were actually using the controls properly. No one would have ever noticed this in game, so the devs really just did this for a secret detail. Remember earlier when I talked about Darth Vader? Well, there's another Darth Vader secret that has been removed, because when he was in the game as an NPC, he had a custom death animation when you would eliminate him, and this was of course removed when he left the game. But he isn't the only character to have a custom death animation, because when Peter Griffin came to the game, he also had a death animation, and it was pretty funny. But one of my favorite weapons in Fortnite actually kinda did have a secret too, because the Evo Chrome weapons would upgrade as you did damage. This was extremely underrated, and sadly we haven't seen this in the game since chapter 3. But that isn't the only Chrome that was removed. So was the Chrome Splash, which allowed you to walk through walls. But a crazy detail in Fortnite chapter 2 was that when you walked into a new biome wearing a bush, the bush would change to match that biome, giving you a much better disguise. But something that was expected to come did not, because the Skibbity Toilet outfit came to the item shop, the cameraman skin with the toilet back bling. Use code PPJ, by the way. But when I was looking at this, I was like, so where's this Skibbity Toilet emote? And sadly, they never even added it. But a funny secret that was removed was in chapter 2 when the Coral Castle was added. If you went to the center area of Coral Castle, there was this little hallway that had a bunch of conch shells on it. These shells would play different tunes when you would use them, and some players even made a song. Fortnite removed something from the game that no one would notice today. Back in the day, Fortnite didn't have any special healing animations, but now they have these fancy, cool animations. This is just a small detail, but it looks so much better. This next one's hilarious though. Fortnite added a rip-off version of Among Us, and it was called Imposters. This had many tasks that you could do, and it was honestly a lot of fun. One of the tasks had you order a specific kind of pizza, and hilariously they called the pineapple topping Psycho. Imposters was sadly removed, but I mean honestly I think they should add it back. Something else that was a lot of fun were the toys. These toys would add a new spin to matches, and with a football you could throw, a soccer ball you could kick, and one of my favorites was the basketball. You could shoot these into hoops and it would actually work. But at some point in between then and now, Fortnite removed this and it doesn't even do anything anymore, which is sad. But another funnier glitch was when you could fly around the island like Superman. This was insane. If you timed it right, With the Oni mask, you could just fly forever. This next one had the whole community upset though, because in Chapter 5, Fortnite went all out for the metaverse, which was a good move overall, but they decided to remove the rarity on skins and emotes and pickaxes. This was a weird change and was hard to get used to for sure, similar to when Fortnite added moving llamas. The llamas at some point in Chapter 2 one day just started running around. If you didn't kill them in time, they would rift to another location on the map, leaving you with absolutely nothing besides a few shields. One of Fortnite's most hyped weapons was the Zapatron. The Zapatron was only in the game for 1 hour in Season 1, with only like 2 players ever recording footage of it. Sadly, Fortnite removed this and never added it back. Not even in the remake in Fortnite OG. But that's kinda similar to the Guzzle Juice. This item was crazy for healing because it worked like a slurp juice, but kinda only for HP. This was only out in Chapter 3 and was never seen again besides Reload in 2024. But one of Fortnite's most annoying features was the healing items. Let me explain. In Chapter 1 through 4, you could only use heals when standing completely still. If you moved at all, the heals would be cancelled. And this would definitely ruin some matches, but in Chapter 5, Fortnite finally changed this. Now we can move around at whenever we want using the heals. In Chapter 4, Fortnite added a feature that was widely forgotten. There were some random locations that would be rifted in every match. Some gave you crazy heals, and some were straight up a death trap. We never saw this again after Chapter 4 though. One of the funniest moments in Fortnite was when the tree would land on your head and eliminate you, because in Chapter 3, Fortnite added physics to certain trees, allowing them to fall when broken down, and this made for some hilarious clips.
With the release of Fortnite Season 3, we have been introduced to new cosmetics and features. But one outfit that stands out in particular is the new chameleon skin named Ziggy. Now, ever since this skin came out, there have been rumors as to what has inspired its creation of the outfit. But at the beginning of the trailer for Season 3, we saw the suntan specialist skin with a pet chameleon on his shoulder. And with the theme of this season based on superheroes, nobody noticed that Ziggy is actually a combination of the two in superhero form. Next up, we have a very hidden Easter egg in the new season. Now, this one is actually making people very upset because it technically goes against Fortnite's terms. But if you purchase the Battle Pass in Season 3, you are given a Superman cape. But the Superman cape was the same one from Chapter 2 Season 7. It was a complete accident, and they've already removed the item from this game. Now, taking it back to OG Season 4 days, you may have remembered this skin and character named the Visitor. The Visitor had a tragic ending to his saga, leaving players upset. Well, in Season 3, there is a new Visitor skin, and it appears this skin is a reference to the old Fortnite storyline. And in the Season 3 plot, the new Visitor is heard saying, "I remember these places fondly," which could be Fortnite bringing the OG Visitor back from the grave. But this next Easter egg is hilarious. See, back in OG Season 4, a clip went viral all over the internet showing the streamer Ninja getting trolled by Dr. Lupo. Well, believe it or not, Fortnite actually added this same exact building and the location in the new season, clearly taking shots and referencing the old clip. If you remember the Imagined Order from way back, this one will definitely ring a bell. The organization became the main antagonist back in Chapter 2, with one member who stood out, Agent Jones. You see, Jones was tricked into joining the IO before finding out the truth. He had an office set up in the bridge, which got destroyed at the beginning of a season. But in the new season, it looks like his office may have made a return. Chapter 6 Season 3 came with a bunch of new locations, but one specific location which had people stumped is the new Demon's Domain. While you may think of this as just a new location, you probably missed the fact that all the smoke that was previously surrounding Crime City had moved to this new spot. Must mean it's important, right? But alongside the traveling smoke, Demon's Domain also has a secret location. You see, if you land at this house and break the floor, an underground area opens up. But follow the tunnel and you'll find yourself in a secret tennis court with plenty of chests and loot. Getting back up is a breeze as well, as you can simply enter a porta-potty portal. Check out this new loading screen in Season 3. Does this look familiar to you? That's because it's actually a remake of one of the old loading screens back in Season 4. Is Fortnite trying to tell us something here? Two characters with the most interesting relationship in the game are Agent Jones and Midas. They're partners and then enemies. The whole thing is a complicated relationship. However, it looks like the two may have reconciled reconciled here in Season 3 because look at what Midas had to say to Jones in the dialogue. Back in Chapter 2 Season 2, there was an item that was so powerful. It only appeared in the game for 2 hours. This was Bud the Mushroom. Bud was found in Weeping Woods and was woken up by dancing. When you fed Bud 100 wood, it would follow you, giving you health and shield for up to 10 minutes. Since his appearance, Bud has been nowhere to be seen, until now, because the shirt worn by the Ziggy skin actually has a picture of Bud the Mushroom on it. Could Bud be making a return after all these years? Upon exploring the new map, you may have noticed that the train is completely stopped running, and in front of the train is a cow. This is pretty funny considering that the whole reason the train stopped is because a cow was in the way, but one of the most interesting additions to Season 3 is the new suitcase of patience. This item spawns at the small cabin northeast of Foxy Floodgates, but this isn't any normal suitcase. No, because this bad boy takes 10 minutes of holding down interact just to open. A waste of time? Maybe, but for those of you who are interested, here's what's inside the suitcase. Was it worth it? Agent Peely is one of the most iconic skins in Fortnite history, but not only is the skin known for its look, but Peely also has a history within the game's narrative, including being kidnapped in Chapter 5. But as you may know, Peely is also a customizable skin with many different appearances, and with the new season being based around superheroes, many believe that a new version of Peely called Super Peely is going to drop, and here's what it would look like. This is straight from the leaks, so that would be pretty cool. The Supernova Academy is a new location in Season 3, which replaces Magic Mosses on the map. But while the location is a popular landing spot, not many people have seen this secret room hidden within one of the buildings. See, if you go to this building and shoot a few targets, you are rewarded with 3 gold coins, all of which instantly spawn 3 legendary chests. There's also a building in the southern part of the academy with 3 separate rooms you can enter, but all of these rooms require you to be a certain rank. Talk about exclusives. Messing around with NPCs is always a fun time, and with many of us hyped over the arrival of Superman, there's something about this bot unlike any other. See, this AI is impossible to kill, of course because he's the Man of Steel. A little over a year ago, Fortnite introduced the jam tracks into the item shop, adding tons of new music to the game. These tracks can be played in pre-game lobbies, festivals, or just anywhere on the map. But what you didn't know is that one of these tracks is actually the original Fortnite dance song. Pretty cool to bring back to the roots. The Grand Glacier was a popular spot in Fortnite back in Chapter 5, but everything about this location was straight up creepy. Believe it or not, this was actually a reference to the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. Even scarier, when you head to the location's maze, you come across a statue buried in the snow with an axe next to it. Direct reference to the ending from The Shining. But we couldn't make this video without including the best Easter egg in Fortnite history. During the Fortnite Family Guy collab, you could eliminate Peter Griffin in boss form, and he would do the best animation of all time. 5 years ago, you could actually find this fish hanging up on the wall. Pretty strange decoration, right? Well, this thing wasn't any normal decoration, because if you emote in front of it, the fish does a dance as well. It's pretty funny actually. Ever since the game's release, people have been calling it Fork Knife as a joke, and that joke turned into an internet-wide meme. Sure enough, Fortnite picked up on the fork knife term, and so not only did they add this hilarious van which had fork knife written on it, but they also added an entire location dedicated to the meme. Zoom out and this is in fact a fork and a knife. But this one isn't so funny. This is the mystery of Wailing Woods basement. You see, hidden in the bottom floors of this location, you could find a secret teddy bear sitting alone in a room. Poor Teddy has nothing to keep him company besides his own reflection. To this day, people are still trying to figure out what this meant. But that wasn't the only time we were haunted by Easter eggs, because some players might remember that back in the day, you could walk up to a television and it would randomly turn on, displaying a scary monster from Save the World. One of the first time Epic trolled its players was when they added this chest hanging off a cliff. Well, turns out it was a trap, because when you opened the chest, your character would fall and get eliminated. But little did we know, this wasn't just a troll, it was actually a reference to the film Italian Job. Taking it back to The Shining, Fortnite also included another reference to the movie, and this time it wasn't so subtle. You see, in 2019, this new hotel was added to Fortnite Save the World, but as players entered this building, they found an axe in the door, a red carpet, and overall a creepy vibe. Look familiar though? That's because this was the hotel from The Shining, even with the creepy twins in the hallway. But this next creepy Easter egg might just take the cake as the scariest of all time. An Easter egg so subtle yet so genius. You might remember when balloons appeared all over the map in Fortnite, directly referencing Pennywise from the movie It. Expecting the clown to make an appearance in the game, everyone was shocked when he didn't. Let's get back to the teddy bears because we aren't done with it yet. Back in season 1, this streamer was not expecting to be stalked by the teddy bear. But there's a removed Easter egg in Fortnite which nobody ever noticed. Since this game was released, the tac shotgun has become an iconic weapon for many players. And if you look close enough, you may notice that the mini game was actually displayed on the screen of the weapon. When the tac shotgun was redesigned in chapter 2, the mini game was deleted, leaving the Easter egg in the dust. One of the craziest hidden secrets ever introduced in Fortnite wasn't a part of the map. In fact, this place could only be reached via Spawn Island. You had to enter this random building and force your way down the elevator before being immersed into an underground lair. Not only was this hard to find, but you only had a limited time before the battle bus departed. When Fortnite collaborated with Resident Evil, players were hyped upon watching the trailer. But with everyone distracted by the zombies in the footage, you may have missed the typewriter, which is identical to the one used in the Resident Evil games. Taking it back to the good old days, we have one of the greatest trailers in Fortnite history, and that was the trailer for Season X. In just a few seconds, you can see a nod to practically everything that happened in one chapter. In the Fortnite Deadpool reveal trailer, you could see Deadpool reading a Fortnite magazine. Well, believe it or not, this was supposed to be a parody of the Vogue magazine. But it gets better because the cover shows Agent Peely winning Banana of the Year. Now, one of the longest running secrets involves the classic Bright Bomber skin, but it took over 5 years for someone to notice. Someone discovered that if you shoot your weapon while using the glider, it would actually shoot rockets. You might remember when Fortnite promoted their new season by adding a real-life dirt burger in the middle of the desert. But players were so focused on the burger, they failed to notice a bigger secret. Looking at the location on Google Maps, you'd see this giant crater in the background. At first, this crater didn't mean anything, but a year later, this location was made its way into Fortnite. Did you know that even dying in Fortnite has a story? As you know, when you get eliminated, a small drone will come up and collect your body. But an Epic Games employee actually spilled the beans behind the drone's true origins. The drone was originally supposed to be the design for a flying turret weapon, but was scratched and used instead for death animations. The legendary pump shotgun is a well-known weapon in Fortnite, but did you know that this gun has a secret message? A handful of people noticed some writing on the side of the weapon, ending with the numbers 110693. Well, this was actually a release date for the original Jurassic Park movie. Pretty crazy. Easter in Fortnite brought us a new emote, known as the egg drop. But while this may have seemed like a fun little nod to Easter, it actually references Ralphie from The Simpsons, who dropped his egg as well. If you go to these grind rails at the Supernova Academy, you will literally go flying across the entire map. A perfect way to escape tight battles or a bad situation. From secret locations to hidden superpowers, these are some things that Epic Games does not want you to know about. This right here is called the Vault Board, and it is used for completing different quests on Fortnite. And while it seems like nothing out of the ordinary, this board contains a secret which nobody has figured out yet. You see, if you zoom into the top right corner, you can see what appears to be a sprite. And this is actually the first look at the 0-point sprite. But this next secret is actually terrifying. Head on over to the Wailing Woods bunker on the OG island and you will notice that there are flashing lights coming from the inside. However, the bunker is unable to be opened. But did you know that the flashing lights are actually telling us something in Morse code? The lights blink a Morse code that communicates something is wrong. Let us know what you think is going on in the comments down below. I'm interested to see some theories. The scorecard emote is a fun one because it gives you a random number each time you activate it. It can be used to grade your teammates or your opponents after eliminating them. However, the scorecard is completely random. Or so we thought. If we want to troll our enemies, there is a way that we can secretly get it to turn 0 every single time. All you have to do is perform the Take the L emote before activating the scorecard emote, and boom, you can give anyone you want the good old 0 on the scorecard every time. But you have to have the Take the L emote, and I don't even know if this works anymore because it was an old clip. The score may show a 0, but it's a 10 out of 10 secret. But this next secret is a hidden location that is hidden in plain sight, yet no one has seemed to come upon it. Not only is it a secret location, but it's packed with insane loot and even Easter eggs. But before we get into the next secret, only 3% of you guys are subscribed, so if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe. Located at the very edge of the map is a hidden location called Lakeside Lab. If you break this wall here, you can find a secret room with a bunch of loot. But that's not even half of it, because as the name Lakeside Lab implies, this spot was set up for research. Well, just outside of the location on this little island is a digging operation set up around a giant X. And as we all know, X marks the spot. But what lies beneath the X, well, that's still a mystery. You can also find a bunch of different radio setups in this location where you can actually hear the Imagined Order guards talking to each other. This might just be a reused asset, so we can't take that for sure. But another spot with some hidden locations and Easter eggs come from the Utopia City. Believe it or not, this spot has more hidden Easter eggs than any location in Fortnite history. The deepest secret lies here in the basement of the high-rise. If you're able to make it out of the high-rise, you will stumble upon this random poster of a donut. Does this donut look familiar? Well, that's because it comes from a classic hit TV show, The Simpsons. Clearly, this is an Easter egg leaking the Simpsons x Fortnite collaboration. The battle bus has been around since the beginning of Fortnite. It is used to transport players from Spawn Island to the battlegrounds. But now we can actually drive the battle bus ourselves. You see, Fortnite just added the battle bus as a car that you can drive around. The only other time we've had something similar is in Chapter 3, but now we can just use the SUV skin as the battle bus. And I've been wanting to drive the battle bus again for a long time. Fortnite has always added fun little jokes to the game, such as the no dancing sign where if you performed a dance move, you would instantly be eliminated. Well, those no dancing signs are back. And guess what? Apparently they were installed on opposite day because this time when you dance, dancing in front of the signs gives you a huge boost. Let us know if you try it in the comments. Simply put, the base boost gloves are super overpowered. I mean, get your hands on one of these bad boys and you're an automatic victory. Okay, that might not be true. You still gotta have some skill, but they're good. However, did you know that there is a glitch to make the base boost gloves 10 times more powerful than they already are? This glitch gives your character infinite boosts and it's absolutely insane. All you have to do is cancel the animation in the air by switching to another weapon and then going right back to the gloves. You will get the full effect but won't waste any of your charges. The only thing is it's a bit tricky to pull off and it's probably already patched by now. So go tell me if it works. Bringing it back to the lovely Superhero Academy, we have not only a secret bunker, but a secret minigame and a giant reward. If you haven't looked around too much on this island, head down to the secret bunker and you will find yourself in front of a door. Hold down the interact button and you will be thrown into hero training. Next, you have to collect a bunch of coins in the next 30 seconds. Completing this challenge, you will be set for loot for the rest of the game. Now that one was a pretty popular one, but it's good to look back on for when the season's over. Back to Utopia City we go, where there is once again another crazy secret. This one is just wild because it's right in front of you, yet no one seems to notice. But this portal located in the center of the spot actually shows the 0 point. But why is this so important? Well, those of you who have been playing the game for a while now know this 0 point is essentially the foundation for everything Fortnite related, and it hasn't been in the game in a very long time. So they're hinting the return here. A popular Fortnite leaker named Hypex dropped a tweet showing what appears to be a crossover between Fortnite and Squid Games. What Hypex wasn't expecting was for Fortnite to actually respond. Not only did they respond, but they left a cryptic message of an image displaying a phone number. And I would not recommend calling the number because this is what happens. The Darth Vader AI has taken over Fortnite like a storm. It can be used to share secrets, or simply just to mess around with. It's essentially ChatGPT but in the middle of Fortnite. But did you know that this bot could be used to track down enemies? Players realized that if you asked Darth Vader where the nearest enemy was, he would tell you.
Where is the closest enemy?
I sense several entities.
Ooh. Multiple?
The closest approach is from the northwest.
Northwest! I've been heading northwest the entire time. No way, there's someone there. He was right.
But here comes one of the biggest hidden secrets in Fortnite. And while it may take a little bit of searching, it's definitely worth it. We all know about the sprites in Fortnite, little creatures that give you hidden abilities and stuff like that. Many of you probably think that this Superman sprite is the rarest one to find, but you would be wrong because the most uncommon sprite is the ghost sprite. These little guys appear randomly on the map and have no abilities, players cannot pick them up, but many believe these may be teasing something in the works, such as a ghost themed sprite. I guess only time will tell. Cosmetics are a huge part of Fortnite. Everyone loves to show off their cool skins, pickaxes, and everything else. But did you know that some of Fortnite's gliders actually have a secret ability? Starting with the X-Wing glider, which allows you to open and close the wings as you fly. And next, the Hot Rod glider, which is reactive with lights indicating left and right depending on which way you fly. Which one is your favorite? And do you have any of these gliders? By now you've definitely heard or seen of this ridiculous chest in Fortnite, which takes a solid 10 minutes to open. Why did Fortnite add this? We have no idea, but for those of you who are too lazy to open it yourself, well, here's what's inside. Is it worth the 10 minutes or not? Next up, I got some of the top secret landing spots that Fortnite doesn't want you to know. Starting with this train here between Crime City and Foxy Floodgates. This spot guarantees you not one, but 2 legendary chests. Head on over to Supernova Academy and enter this door, then follow the stairs down to find Superhero C, B, and most importantly, A, which has some of the best loot you'll find. Just like the gliders have their own secret features, these backblings do as well. Starting with the Mobile Mini-Tron backbling, which keeps track of how many eliminations you have. The Undertaker collaboration had a similar secret because when you equip the Earn backbling, you will hear his iconic sound after every elimination. But the coolest backbling of them all has to be the Max Stacks. See, this backbling starts off as a simple shoebox on the back of your character, but after each elimination, more boxes are stacked on top. But this secret mythic takes a bit of adventuring, so follow along. Drive through this door with an SUV and you will be glitched out of the map. Hop out of the SUV and build your way back up and enter through here, and voila, there is a secret cape. Clearly must be a hint for the future, so hopefully something cool comes out of this. When Fortnite dropped the Hollow Twister AR, it instantly became a favorite. But sure enough, it was vaulted. Well, kinda. You see, Fortnite sneakily added this AR back into the game and it's super easy to find. Go to an Armory Shadow briefing and pick the Assault one and it'll grant you an uncommon Hollow Twister AR. Pretty cool.
There is a secret way to get a free emote. Obviously, this whole season is based around gold and vaults, but did you know that if you spend enough gold in a vending machine, there is a chance to do the Make It Rain emote, even if you don't own it? That's only one of the many secrets in Fortnite Season 2, and later in the video, I have one that guarantees you a secret mythic. Did you know that while using any wolf skin, if you walk up to this giant wolf mountain, it will actually howl? Okay, that was actually a really cool teaser, and maybe at the end of the season this will be some sort of live event. But Fortnite secretly revealed the future, because in a secret trailer they released on mobile, they accidentally showed off a Rift gun. This gun will rift players somewhere when shot by it. Kind of like a Rift to Go, but for enemy players. This would be a great way to get them away from you if you're trying to heal or reload, but I wonder what else it could be used for because it doesn't seem too useful yet. Unlike this next one, because there are a ton of secret vaults on the island. It is right here on this south side of Outlaw Oasis. It just looks like a normal room. If you go up to them, you can turn them. And if you turn them all to face forwards, it does something. So you break this, and there is a secret door underneath the carpet. And you drop down in here, and there is an awesome secret little vault. And actually, our next secret is in this room. Because if you see this painting right here, it might look a little familiar. The reason that this painting looks so familiar is because it's actually a secret callback to Leonardo DiCaprio, an old movie and popular meme where he raises his glass. I don't think anybody expected that,
But that's not the full secret, because hilariously, there's a chance you can walk inside and there is no loot in the vault. And instead of the picture of him raising his glass, it turns into a picture of him laughing at you. Okay, those were really cool secrets, but this next one has an insane attention to detail. Fortnite has made a secret change to vehicles. Let's see if you can tell the difference in this clip. If you paid really close attention to Fortnite cars in the past, you might have noticed that this has a car alarm, and it never did before. So I don't know why, but they decided to just add car alarms this season. It's a random detail, but I mean, I like it. Don't forget that in this video, there's a secret that gives you a mythic that really not many people know about. But only 3% of you guys watching are subscribed, so if you enjoy, please subscribe. And use code PBJ in the item shop if you would like to support me. Did you know that there's a secret way to get the Dilbit currency? In shiny shafts, there are these little pans all over the place. Some of them have gold, and if you destroy them, they drop the gold. But there's also a very rare chance that they will drop a Drillbit coin. Make sure to break these anytime you're near it, just in case. You've probably seen this next one, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in Fortnite. So I was just chilling at Outlaw Oasis and I saw this hot tub. And this hot tub has the sign that says 3 players max. So I was like, what would even happen if you put 4?
In the hot tub.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god! Oh, land back in! Oh, we can't land back in!
You get shot out of the sky. One of my favorite trolls they've ever done. There's a secret way to get a ton of XP. Secretly hidden something that allows you to troll everyone. It's on my brand new map, Red vs Blue Gun Game. So first off, this is the code for the new island, or you could just go and search PBJ and it should be on there. While you're there, follow me. Once you load in, you're gonna wanna go all the way over to the clock tower. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to get inside of, but once you're inside here, go towards the center of the room and emote. This will take you to a secret room, and it says you have found the secret room, claim your XP. You really thought I was gonna show you everything that was inside? Join up and troll your friends with this, and do it before I remove it. But this next secret is really cool. There's an arcade in Crime City, and this isn't just any arcade. In fact, it is an old arcade full of old Epic Games titles. This is a very cool secret detail. Just like in Shining Shafts, there is a funny detail that not many people noticed. There's a sign that says days since accident, and you'd think, oh, this would be a good thing. How many days has it been since the last accident? But it says 0, which means they've had an accident today. Dude, this is just a terrible company. But there's a really cool secret detail that has to do with the kneecapper bat. This bat has a really cool animation if you swing it and hit someone. The character puts their hand over their face to cover their eyes and see how far they've hit the person. This is pretty clever. But the next one's kinda scary, because when walking around Crime City, there are many bad things you can see. But one of them is a missing poster for a lamb? This might just seem like any normal missing poster until you realize that the main bad guy this season is a wolf, and wolves love to mess with lambs. So I think I know who took it. But did you know that with the Mortal Kombat gloves, you can actually walk on water? And that's not the only Mortal Kombat secret. There's a few other ones as well in this video. But did you know there's a secret rivalry happening on the island? Okay, so the alpha wolf guy just shows up, and in most of his buildings, we can see references to bird. And they're not good references at all. For instance, one of them has the bird logo as a dartboard, and they've been using it to throw at him. Okay, this is just kind of sad. But this next one is a little bit concerning, because if you pay close attention in the bathrooms of the new locations, there is something a little bit weird. We all know that the new guy is a wolf, but he takes this a little bit too seriously, because instead of toilet paper in the bathrooms, it's these little dog poop bags. I mean, just look at it, it's a little weird. This next one's not as disturbing, but can get you some extremely good loot. Because if you make your way to Shiny Shafts, there are a few hidden rooms. So first off, there's all sorts of entries and stuff, which is really cool, but this location has so many secrets hidden around it. If you make your way inside, you can find this, number 8. This number 8 hole has a crane digging it, but you can actually break the rocks yourself, and behind the rocks are a bunch of gold, but that's not the best one. This next one is nothing like this. It's not another one of those caves with a hole. Instead, it's a secret vault that nobody knows about, and it takes some searching to actually find. So let me show you. Okay, so you have to find 3 of these little wheels. You spin it, and there's 2 more. All right, we just gotta find the other 2. Here's another one. So there's one all the way down there by the door. There's one up here. Turn that one. All right, it's right here, so it's kind of harder to find, but it's right across the number 1 entrance. If we push it, it should open. No? All right, let's go see if it opened. Open? It did. It opened. So you have to do them in close order. It took me too long to do it, so that's why it didn't work. But the doors will slowly open, and there's a bunch of chests. But a hilarious detail was the classic robots. Last season, they were moving around the island doing funny things, but this season, they still are. If you paid close attention, you can see them all over the place, and a few of them are even sitting in the sauna. But before we talk about the mythic item, did you know that there's a huge secret with the Sub-Zero mythic? If you eliminate a player without taking any damage, it will play this audio.
Flawless victory.
Flawless victory, of course. That's an awesome secret.
Everyone has mixed opinions on Big Dill, but there's a hilarious secret conversation that he has with Kendo from last season. You see, Kendo has these pickles in jars on his skin. And when you talk to Big Dill, he notices this and freaks out. But now for the mythic. But first, use code PBJ if you've been enjoying. And join the Discord in the description. There's a mythic in the game that not too many people know about. Last season we had the Shogun X boss, and this season he's still here for some reason. But most players overlook this because he was here last season, and they just say, well, he's not that good anymore, he's old. But this season he has a new mythic. And it's just the old mythic AR, but he also has a secret medallion. This medallion puts up a shield bubble when you use healing, which is very helpful. Did you know that when doing the howl emote, there used to be a chance that it would make this sound? Okay, that definitely would have caught me off guard. Time when Fortnite secretly deleted a skin without telling anybody. This skin says dead game, but when you go into Lego mode, they changed it completely, and now it says best game. This was definitely a funny, weird change. Almost as funny as the time Fortnite made an April Fool's joke that tricked everybody. On April Fool's Day in 2018, players loaded up just to be shocked when using impulse grenades. Take a look. It sent them 10 times as far as normal, even causing fall damage. I wish Fortnite still did these fun little trolls. But this next one wasn't really done on purpose, because Fortnite accidentally added an update that broke the game. This secret addition was hilarious to see, because in Chapter 3 on the right side of the island there was a huge statue. And this statue glitched one day, causing players to find out that you could actually use tires to make this thing fly. Take a look.
What the?
Okay, how did Fortnite even mess up that badly? But there is one huge hidden detail that is actually more recent. Because when Wolverine Peely came out, a lot of players missed one big detail. So far, every Peely is peeled just a little bit, but Wolverine Peely actually isn't, because he has regeneration powers just like the true Wolverine, making it impossible for him to age. Just like most of you didn't realize that Gwenpool has many fourth wall breaks in Fortnite Season 4. She mentioned the Galactus event from Chapter 2, and in Reload she even says, "Whoa, this place has Tilted?" I guess she wasn't the only one who is a fan of Tilted. But there's another huge secret change located in Reload, because Fortnite decided to change the whole storm, causing it to do 6 times more damage at the end, making it impossible to do a heal off. But who even does heal offs in Reload anyway? Another secret update was actually related to the item shop. Sometimes if a new skin comes out that I really want, but I'm not home to get it, I can't really get it, which stinks. But Fortnite just thought of this. They created a version of the item shop online. If you go to fortnite.com/shop, it sends you straight to it. And if you're buying anything,
make sure to use code PBJ.
did you know that Fortnite also made a huge change to the default dance? Yeah, the default dance that everybody knows and loves. This dance wasn't always the way we know it now. There used to be another version of it, but they removed this audio. Weird. Fortnite has even had a secret callback to Mona Lisa. Instead of the original painting, it is now fish stick. Okay, this is mad weird. I don't even know how to start with this one, but in Chapter 2, Season 2, many people know that Midas has the golden touch, right? He even turns guns to gold in-game when you carry them. But a secret change is that all the other skins in the Battle Pass that season turned to gold at some point, which made players wonder, what was Midas doing, bro? Fortnite is scamming you. Do you believe me? Well, check out this clip. Even through armored walls, you can hit players using Captain America's shield. This isn't the only secret though. One of these gives you complete invincibility. In the bottom of Doom's castle, there's a secret room that shows a shrine of Iron Man collectibles, from a tinfoil suit to a lava lamp. But if you thought this was weird, wait until you hear what happens when you enter this zipline.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, so Fortnite definitely does not want you to know this, but there is a huge secret Easter egg located in the Castle Doom. And this secret can be found inside of a picture frame. And it shows what Latveria was like in the past. And it was literally only fish sticks. I didn't know there were so many fish sticks. I also didn't know that so many people weren't subscribed that watch these videos. So if you're enjoying, subscribe for more secrets like these. Because Fortnite is hiding way more than what we've already talked about. They secretly added a reference to a huge meme that everybody was shocked about. Fortnite has done references to memes before, such as the burning house meme, but this time they referenced the classic Wolverine meme. This is hilarious and I hope they keep doing stuff like this. This next secret revolves around the Cybertruck, because if you have a teammate stand on the back of it and go through the nitro hoop, this happens, and it's absolutely hilarious. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Well,
Another funny secret is that in the Season 4 trailer, we can actually see Chaos Agent secretly stuck in a prison cell. I'm telling you, Chaos Agent is literally everywhere in each season. Fortnite is pay to win. Do you believe me? Well, it's true. Nick A30 realized that some cars were actually better than others.
This Whiplash is a car that people have by default, because as you see, you can kill the opponent very easily. I am not able to hit him. It's just a lot harder to hit your opponents. It's a lot easier to kill your opponents in these pay-to-lose cars.
Secret that allows you to get to places that we have never been able to get to before. If you grab the nitro, you can actually walk on water. And with the extra stamina, compared to the usual swimming, this definitely guarantees you an extra advantage in a fight. Not only can you cross bodies of water faster than your enemy, but you can also gain some pretty easy hits on players while they're swimming from above. Maybe we could even get to Spawn Island using this trick. Somebody needs to try that. I'm about to show you a huge secret. In the dog pound at the meeting table, there is a little red button. This is the same button that we saw in the trailer. When you push this button, it plays the classic Chapter 2 Season 2 music. This is 15 Secrets and Fortnite Remix. Most people have seen the insane glitches with the new cars. But not many people have realized that there is another hidden secret with these cars. The second secret I'm showing you guys today is actually located right out here. If you go into the cars right here, you need it to be one of these newer cars. Either this or the classic one. When you play the music, the car actually bounces. This is definitely pretty funny. But did you know that Fortnite made a secret change to henchmen? This next secret can be found pretty much anywhere that's new on the island. At the dog pound, anything like that. Because these henchmen actually have a huge change. Back in the day, they used to look like this. I'll put a picture on the screen. It was pretty simple, pretty much the same thing, except they have a little bit of a redesign. And this time, they actually have security written on their shoulder. Kind of like a security guard for Snoop Dogg and Eminem and the new people like that. I guess it fits a little bit better than protecting Midas, but yeah, this is definitely a cool secret. Okay, that was a pretty funny small detail, but it's not as funny as the trap that Fortnite tried to trick us with. There is a location on the map that literally uses loot to trap you. Let me show you. But this next secret is definitely one of my favorites, and it's actually located right over here. So basically, in this building, there's a lot of good loot, and there's a lot of henchmen and stuff like that. But the loot that seems very good is actually a trap that nobody expected. Well, I guess it was back in chapter 2 as well, but when I walk in this room, you're about to find out what I'm talking about. But this just looks like a normal good old chest, right? Until you open it and this happens. Yeah, they kind of go crazy on you. So we gotta get out of here. Yeah, so definitely be careful when you're going in there, especially in zero builds. You don't want to get caught in there. But there's another secret room on the island. By the dam at the Hydro 16 location, there is a hidden room that reveals something disturbing. This next secret is right over here by this giant dam. If you go down here, this place is called Hydro 16. And inside, there is a very weird, mysterious secret. Oh, here it is. Okay, so right here, when you're in here, it'll be right here at this staircase, and for some reason, Fortnite added a very mysterious cemetery looking thing and a golden toilet with a gnome inside. This is very mysterious. I don't know if it's disturbing or whatever you want to say this is, but it is something for sure. The emoticons have stayed the same for a very long time, but for some reason Fortnite randomly decided to change the animation and they didn't even tell anyone. It just looks so aggressive now. But a really cool secret is actually related to the crash pads. Check it out. So if we build a whole bunch of stuff right here, this is really cool, and I don't remember if it always did this or not, but it's awesome. If you shoot a rocket launcher at a crash pad, it will bounce off. It's actually so cool. Just for instance, imagine there was somebody up there, and it's just like very interesting that this happens. Alright, let's move on to the next secret though. But early into Fortnite Remix, they were teasing something huge. Alright, so this next secret's located right here at Spaghetti Grotto. Hopefully there's nobody in here. The M&M main room, and it's located on top of this table. Right here, there's the Chapter 2 map. But there is a secret here. Basically, there's an E for where M&M is located, and then there were 2 question marks for where the other 2 were gonna go. This was released way before they were even in the game though, before anybody even knew Juice WRLD was coming. But that doesn't compare to one of the funniest secrets in Fortnite. If you go to the retail row, there is a hilarious secret. Okay, this next secret is actually located right here in retail row. One of my favorite secrets in Remix. It's right here on the retail side of retail row with all the stores and stuff. And over here, if you go to this big shop, there's my favorite secret in the game. It's a huge secret that you can definitely trick your friends with. Oh, and speaking of friends, only 2% of you guys are subscribed. So if you guys would like to help me out, please subscribe, and it'll make me feel like I have more friends. If you dance, the fish dances with you. It's actually a hilarious little secret, and personally, I think it's awesome. In Weeping Woods, there is a house that has a huge secret. This next one is kind of located in Weeping Woods, but a little off to the side. This random house right here, there is obviously a bunker outside. And when you go inside, it just looks like a really cool underground facility area. But when you go inside, this is where the secret is. So basically, take a look at this room and tell me if there's anything weird that you can see. Yeah, there's not really anything weird that stands out. Up here, I mean, not really, no. It's just a pretty simple house until you go over here to this door. It's a secret door as a bookshelf, and it leads you right down to this bunker. It's a very good hiding spot because nobody knows really that this is here, and the only way they can come in is this way. and it gives you a good escape. I personally really like this. But this next item is one of the rarest secrets in the game. In original chapter 2 of Fortnite, there was an item, a mythic goldfish. This goldfish was 1 in a million chance of fishing it up. Only a few people have ever found it, and in Fortnite Remix, they brought this back without telling anyone. But they changed the spawn rate. Instead of it being 1 in 1 million, it was actually 1 in 10,000. A big difference, but HJ Dugan was actually able to find this for himself, and was able to get a kill with it. And by the way, it did 200 damage. Check it out.
Oh, no way. It's happening. Oh my god. Bonk.
Bruh.
Right, game off!
Oh god.
In that position, I just have to smash it.
That is why. That is why we have the boogies. Okay, we're 2 for 2.
Alright, this next secret's right here at our good old risky reels. If you go into this little hut right here, well, let me just tell you something. So basically, this screen has only been used a few times in Fortnite's history. My favorite time being the Wreck-It Ralph teaser from chapter 1. But now you can actually use it again. And if you do it, well, you can play the actual Fortnite Remix Prelude event. The one we just saw with Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice. And this is pretty cool. I mean, I didn't really love this event, but at least it's pretty cool you can replay it. Fortnite's newest Eminem skin actually has a huge secret. When you're wearing the main style on his skin, this is what it looks like. But when you wear the back bling and wear the second style, you can see a very small detail. The back bling actually has pipes that connect to the face. This is definitely a cool detail. Okay, so another secret is actually located up at the top middle island up here. This secret is kind of OG though. It's not new, but a lot of people that are playing now don't know about this. It's right behind this wall. I'm about to break it. If you look in here, there is one of the classic secret bunkers, but it looks kind of broken because you can see right through the actual like top of the bunker. You can't walk in there, but I guess it's kind of broken, but normally this would be just a regular bunker. But just a little bit over is Craggy Cliffs. This location has a huge secret inside of it. Check it out. Okay, this next secret's located at Craggy Cliffs because there's not too much here. I mean, I'm in the final zone, so you can't really see everything in Storm, but there is a very cool secret here. Usually there would be one of these things, but right here covering this wall, but I broke it and realized that behind it there's a secret hole. It looks like somebody's been living here, but there's nothing back here, but it's very cool to now at least. So I guess you could hide back here if you ever were like in a 1v5 situation or something. You gotta sit back in the corner and hide. This is a very good spot to hide. A very surprising secret change was to the supply drops. They now float if they fall into water, and they'll continue to move downstream until they run into something. Definitely nice to know. That was all the secrets for today. If you want to watch more, then watch the video on the screen. Use code PBJ.